Can Ubisoft survive into the next generation of gaming consoles? What's up, everybody? This is Steve Sterling with Sentinel17 Gaming. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I greatly appreciate it. Now, if you do enjoy this video, please feel free to hit the like. Feel free to leave a comment below the video if you have something to say. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, this video today, I wanted to talk about Ubisoft and how they've been making games over the past 5 or 6 years. And yes, that timeline is leaving out the noticeable downgrade to Watch Dogs from what everyone was shown at E3. I'm cutting Ubisoft a break. No, I'm talking about Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Ghost Recon, Far Cry, games that have noticeably struggled, I guess, to do really well. Now, of course, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it did well, and I think it was a commercial success, but there's a noticeable rift in the Assassin's Creed community. But I'm not really going to talk too much about that in this video. I just am going to acknowledge that it's there, and Ubisoft is going to have to find a way to deal with that going forward into next generation. Ghost Recon Breakpoint got a lot of shit because they took elements from different games and threw it in a Ghost Recon game, and in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions, it just didn't work. And it's not even like an opinion of the minority. I mean, that's the vast majority of people. Ghost Recon Breakpoint at launch was not anywhere near what it should have been. And granted, Ubisoft has fixed it since then, but it's proof that they stumbled a bit in the last few years as far as game development goes and where they wanted to take a franchise. Now, with Ghost Recon Wildlands, you had freedom, you had the ability to fly all over Bolivia, and pretty much from the get-go, you could go to any province you wanted, and you could start working there, which allowed a tremendous amount of freedom. And in this type of game, that's exactly what you want. Now, keep in mind, with Ghost Recon Wildlands, once the bosses revealed themselves, they weren't, there wasn't higher levels that you had to upgrade your weapons or whatever in order to take them down. They were dropped by your bullets the same way any other guy would. Now we're nearing my point, my real point about Ubisoft games. They try to extend the gameplay by creating levels, much like an RPG. You have to level up to fight a tougher boss, and that's fine in RPGs, but for a Ghost Recon game, for Far Cry, you don't want to have to, go through all the grinding necessary to make your player a higher level just so he can fight a boss. It was refreshing to not have to do that in Ghost Recon Wildlands, and when you had to do that in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, it was just a bunch of bullshit. Now, the same thing goes for Far Cry 5 and for Far Cry New Dawn. With Far Cry 5, those RPG elements weren't really there. But with Far Cry New Dawn, they absolutely were there, and it was nothing more than a way to extend the gameplay to keep you playing longer. It's kind of a shorthanded way of extending the gameplay without adding more content. They just make certain tiers of enemies that you have to grind to get your character strong enough so that he or she can fight them. And I don't know if you'd consider that lazy. I understand game development is difficult, but considering everybody looks to them as a AAA studio, and they're going to do something like that just to extend the gameplay, it feels cheap. It feels cheap. And, I think a lot of us expected more from Ubisoft, and they just earned the right to make a Star Wars game. So Ubisoft absolutely wants to have gamers interested in what they're selling. And I think Ubisoft understands that with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, they stumbled a lot. Going from Ghost Recon Wildlands to Breakpoint, there was a hell of a difference, you could tell, and they wanted Breakpoint to be the best it could be. They tried throwing a lot of shit in there that did not go, and it absolutely screwed everything up. Now, my biggest fear going forward is I don't want Far Cry 6 to be a goddamn RPG. I just don't. I want Far Cry 6 to be like Far Cry 5, where there aren't levels. But with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, with Far Cry New Dawn, I'm legitimately worried about that. And I'll talk about Far Cry in a different video, but hopefully with Ubisoft delaying a lot of their games now, it kind of shows that they realize that it can't be a one-size-fits-all approach to making games. You can't use the same strategy for all these games, and hopefully these delays are going to do the games good, and hopefully Ubisoft will surprise. Thanks for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and feel free to follow me on Twitter at Sentinel17.